Good morning and good luck, and welcome back to Good Luck with Gino, episode 59 of the fastest growing podcast in the world. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, here's what I need you to do. You're going to make sure you like, subscribe, and download it to your device. And then, and maybe this is the most important thing to do, after the conclusion of the episode, you're going to head on over to YouTube because you should be watching on YouTube, shouldn't you? And why is that? Well, because you'd see the big surprise that I have for you today. The Good Luck merchandise has finally arrived. And we're sporting a hoodie today. You guys want to take a quick little gander? Okay, sure. Let me take off the headphones and give you a little twirl. Huh? First, we got the Good Luck guy on the front, giving you the thumbs up, and on the back. Trying to show you, trying to look at the monitor and show you. Yeah, look at that. We're gonna bring back bullying. It's here. The Bring Back Bullying merchandise has arrived, and just in time to bring back bullying. Trademark. Hoodies are available. T-shirts are available. We're starting off with a limited batch. Okay, just 2 designs for now. But we're going to ramp that up. We're going to ramp that up. As the streets demand it, we will supply it. Because this is a movement, you know what I mean? And to show that you are a part of that movement, what better way than to go to GinoTheGhost.com and buy your Good Luck merch today. And I'm going to have a link in the description if you're too lazy to type it in yourself. Again, just T-shirts and hoodies right now. But we got a lot of stuff planned, and it's going to be fun. So make sure you grab that. And if you don't buy one, totally fine. Just know that I like you a little bit less. Just a little bit less. And that's fine. Anyway, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and flick that like button. Take your dominant hand, smash that subscribe button, and then look in the mirror and say to yourself, I'm an oil man. And this is my son, HW. And you grab that oil from the pipeline that you've built, and you're going to go ahead and grease up that algorithm by leaving a comment, aren't you? You're going to grease up that rhythm. Maybe you comment and say, hey, just bought a shirt. Hey, just dropped $700 to buy my entire extended family hoodies and T-shirts. Love you, Gino. What better way to grease up the rhythm than that? Let's get into my week. This won't be long. Don't worry. I got a phone call a couple days ago from the Department of Health, which is not a good phone call to get. Got the phone call. It went to voicemail. They called again. Went to voicemail because I never answer the phone when I get a call from a number that I don't know. Left me a voicemail and said, hey, this is Michael from the Department of Health. You're going to want to give me a call because the flight you were on from Doha to Los Angeles a couple weeks ago, we had a potential deadly disease outbreak. Why don't you give me a call? So, getting a deadly disease and dying from it, not on my to-do list. Gave him a call to find out if I was dying. And he said, hey, we're calling everybody that was on flight, blah, 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 blah. Wanted to know if you had any crazy symptoms. And I'm like, hey, man, first of all, what's the disease? Like, what are we talking about here? We talking about like Ebola, COVID, a new form of disease, a zombie virus? Is this Last of Us? Is this word? Is this it? Was I on the fucking flight where they brought over the fucking fungus virus that kills everybody and destroys the world? And the guy said, no, there was a case of measles. A baby had measles on the flight. And I'm like, well, fortunately, my mom isn't a fucking moron, so she gave me a measles vaccine when I was a baby, like, all babies are supposed to get. So no, thankfully I don't have measles, Mike. Thanks for scaring the living shit out of me, dude. And then we laughed about parents not vaccinating their babies from measles. Yeah, great work, Mom. That baby probably died or has an insane fever and almost died. And now this guy's got to fucking call everybody on a flight to scare the shit out of them because you didn't vaccinate your baby because you read anti-vax propaganda. You hate to see it. Prayers up for that baby. Not for the mother. She's a jackass. Yeah, I asked what seat they were sitting in because I happened to be sitting by a couple of crying babies on my flight. And it was 2 rows up. And yeah, I do remember a crying baby 2 rows up. Probably because the baby had measles. Probably why the baby was crying. Because it was suffering from the meas. So, yeah, you hate to see it. Yeah, I mean, maybe guys, if you haven't, maybe call your mom and make sure you got vaccinated from measles when you were a kid. And if you didn't, I don't know if it's too late, but maybe go ahead and fire that one up. Moving on. Little tip I want to give you guys. Do you have a sweet tooth? This sounds like an ad. It's not. Hi. Do you suffer from eating sweet foods right before bed and destroying your cavities and making yourself fat? I used to have this insane ice cream addiction. I used to I could not go to bed without having ice cream. It was like grown ass man, just like, well, gotta have some ice cream. Just had dinner. And I would eat super healthy all day. And then I would just have ice cream, like Ben and Jerry's or whatever. And God bless my girlfriend. She got me into frozen fruit. And I have found the ultimate cure for ice cream addiction. Frozen mangoes. Frozen mangoes. You go to Ralph's or Kroger. It's like a big fucking bag. It's like this big. Frozen mangoes. Dude, it's fucking delicious. It's a dessert. It's like you're eating mango ice cream. You let them like thaw out just a little bit, obviously. And it's cured. I've been doing this for like maybe a month or so. I don't do it every night, but like it has cured my ice cream addiction. It's insane. I'm good. So yeah, there's a little fucking don't say I never did anything for you. Go ahead and try that out. Oh my God, this hoodie is so goddamn comfortable. I gotta tell you. I mean, not biased, but man, I would spend hundreds of dollars for this hoodie. It's not that much money, don't worry. Okay, let's get into the week. We're gonna talk about the thing that everybody's waiting for me to talk about, because of course I am. We're gonna talk about Donald Trump being convicted of a felony. Not just one felony. Former President Donald Trump was charged with 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree, which is a felony in New York, after a $130,000 hush money payment was made by his attorney Michael Cohen to adult film star Stormy Daniels before the 2016 election. He pleaded not guilty. He was found guilty. Now, first, let's talk about what the charges were before we get into it. Yeah, there's some misconception that the charge is about the hush money payment. And he's not being charged with paying off a porn star to have an abortion. Although that is hilarious that he did that. The charge is that he arranged for his attorney to make this payment and then lied about and hid the hush money and used it and falsified business records with the intent to commit or conceal another crime, right? So if it was just a hush money payment thing, it wouldn't have been a felony. But because he falsified business records with the intent to commit or conceal another crime, that is violating the New York election law, which elevated the charges into a felony. Okay, among other charges. But yeah. So basically, Cohen and Trump Organization executive Alan Weiselberg arranged for Cohen to be reimbursed $130,000 for the Daniels payment, plus $50,000 for unrelated work, doubled for taxes, and an additional $60,000 bonus, totaling $420,000. The $60,000 bonus probably just being like, hey, thanks for taking care of that, bud. There you go, So, the defense that Trump had was that he tried to say that the payments to Cohen were legitimate legal expenses. Yeah, fucking right. They also aimed to discredit Cohen, who was the key witness in this case, and trying to portray him as a liar. But that didn't work because, Donald Trump's a big fucking liar, isn't he? The jury found him guilty on all counts. Sentencing is set for July, with possible penalties ranging from fines to imprisonment, although prison time is considered unlikely, which we'll get into. And Trump plans to appeal. Now, I want to talk about what happened earlier this year, because I really want to set the table here. And I think it's really important that people hear this. In February, you might not know the full details of this, but Donald Trump was hit with civil fraud charges by the Attorney General in the state of New York. Okay. This was like a real-life episode of Billions. Have you ever seen Billions? Billions is about the Attorney General of New York, Chuck Rhodes, who's played by Paul Giamatti, and the power struggle between him and this billionaire named Bobby Axelrod, who's played by Damian Lewis. And it's just really this fucking crazy power struggle between these two. It's an incredible show. It kind of like after like 3 seasons starts to go downhill, but it's a great fucking show. You should watch it. So this is basically Billions between the New York Attorney General and Donald Trump. So what happened is, what the charges are about, whenever Donald Trump wanted a loan, he would illegally inflate the value of his real estate to get a bigger loan. So if he had like a 10,000 square foot penthouse, he would go to the bank and say that it was a 30,000 square foot penthouse, which would get him a bigger loan, to then use that money to leverage for other, it's common scumbag real estate practice. The Attorney General of New York caught on because on his tax returns, which he had to release, remember, on his tax returns, he would then significantly undervalue those same properties to pay less in property taxes, among other things. So he got caught. It was a civil case, though, not a federal case, so it wasn't a felony. But the judge calculated that he saved $454 million, which was the total plus interest and penalties, which he had to pay. Now, this is hilarious because, of course, people are like, well, this is just a thing that everybody does in real estate. No, this is not a thing everybody does in real estate. I don't think anybody is saying like, you shouldn't take advantage of leveraging debt for real estate. That's what you're maybe confusing it with. Or like everybody does like tricks to save money on taxes. Again, no. Yes, but you're confusing tax law with fraud. Okay? I don't think anybody's saying you shouldn't take advantage of the tax system to avoid paying as much in taxes, but this is just quite literally flat out lying and fraud. You can't do this. It's not taking advantage of the tax code. It's a crime, okay? It would be like you claiming 4 dependents on your tax return when you just have 1 overweight child. You got a Chub Scout at home, and you think that means, oh, well, I'll just claim I got 4 dependents. You're lying. That's fraud. Okay? And it's crazy that people are not more upset about this, to me. And it's crazy that Republicans aren't more upset about this. because Republicans are pissed at how much money they got to pay in taxes. Well, the people taking advantage of the lying on their tax returns are the reason you're paying more in taxes. These guys who just think that they're bigger than fucking God, that think that they're above the law, that are just lying and committing fraud and not paying taxes. Well, guess what, dickhead? That affects you. But that wasn't a big deal. Everyone just kind of brushed that under the rug. This is a big deal. 34 felonies. That's a fucking, I mean, what are we talking about here? That's a big deal. And I mean, it's like felons can't even vote, but they can be voted into president. So to put it in context, Donald Trump can't vote for himself. You know, they always like do the thing where they show the presidential candidate like walk into the polls and I'm going to go vote. Who am I voting for? He can't do it ever again, unless he wins his appeal. And that is so funny. I saw this hilarious TikTok because, you know, technically it's funny. Like he can run because there's not a law saying that felons can't run for president. So this guy made this funny TikTok. I'm going to show it.
I love that Trump still gets to run for president because of like Air Bud law. Like a bunch of constitutional lawyers just like, well, there's nothing in here that says he can't play.
It's just so good. The movie Air Bud, if you haven't seen it, it's when the fucking dog plays football. It's like a golden retriever. And if you haven't seen Air Bud and you're over the age of 24, then your childhood was clearly dog shit. But pun intended. God, I'm so good. And it's just saying like, well, there's nothing that says he can't run for president. That is very funny. However, I think that this law or lack of law may suck in this context, but it is a good law because it protects candidates and opponents of those in power from being convicted. Like if they did have this law where like felons couldn't run for president, think about it, like how fucking corrupt our government is. They will be slapping felonies on all types of political opponents and people that would potentially be running. Do you know what I mean? So there's nuance in everything, you know what I mean? But it's just crazy. Like, I'm not going to spend too much time on this Trump thing. I'm not going to say what hasn't already been said and what political pundits much smarter than me are going to say. But I just, once again, think it's so crazy that a twice impeached convicted felon that was convicted for paying off a porn star to have an abortion, a convicted fraudster that defrauded the American people of over $400 million in tax dollars, an authoritarian that tried to overthrow the government that lost the last election, is still going to win this election. Because despite all this that I just said, he's still going to win. How bad of a candidate do you have to be, sitting current active president, to lose to the guy that just got slapped with 34 counts? How bad do you have to be that not only that, but this is going to help him win? Probably. Because you can't twist the knife. You don't know how to bury him. The only thing preventing Donald Trump from going to jail is if he goes to prison. And he's not going to prison. You know that, right? They can't send him to jail. They can't do it, dude. There's no way they could send him to jail. This country would... You seen the movie Civil War? It'd be fucking anarchy. They would turn that motherfucker into a martyr, dude. a martyr who paid a porn star to have a fucking abortion, by the way. Not like a martyr that actually stood for something. A martyr that just did the thing that he spoke out. I don't know if he's even spoke out against abortion, but that his party speaks out against. So anyway, he's going to win anyway. This is going to help him because it just emboldens the delusion. And, he may be a monster, but he's our monster, isn't he? We deserve him. America. So have fun. Looking forward to another 4 years of that. Okay, moving on. Chipotle has been under fire. They have been under fire on social media for the past year, really. I've been seeing this for over a year, but it's become popular to make fun of how small the Chipotle bowls portion sizes have gotten, because they have, and how just the food quality has trended downwards and is actually fucking terrible now. And it is. I used to love Chipotle, dude. I fucking love Chipotle. I'll never forget. I was in a studio session with Big Sean one time, and me and Big Sean were talking about how much we love Chipotle. And I was like, well, let's have a Chipotle off. What are we doing? And he said, I order Chipotle over 5 days a week. Okay. He won. But I used to eat the fuck out of Chipotle. And man, you know what it was? Ever since they got hit with that salmonella thing, you remember that? They found like salmonella in the food or something. And then they had to like change their entire way that they did supply chain. And then ever since then, it might have been a coincidence, but so the Chipotle CEO had a video that they decided it was a good idea to send out. And here it is.
First, I can tell you the portions have not gotten smaller. One of the things I think it's great about Chipotle is if you come into the restaurant and you want a little more rice or you want a little more pico, all you got to do is kind of like, and usually our guys and women, give them a little more scoop. You know, we always want to give people big portions that get them excited about the food. It's kind of who we are. I mean, these are big burritos, these are big bowls. Our goal is to give people great experiences. Now, if you want double the amount of meat, you got to pay for it. But yeah, our goal is to get people really excited about what I believe is really delicious food.
What is this fucking stock corporate music going on in the background too, you know? That's a hilarious, insane video. He basically just got on there and was like, yeah, I mean, just gaslight our employees with a passive aggressive, really? Look, as they are giving you your food, and they'll load you up begrudgingly with another half scoop. Oh, you want a little bit more pico de gallo? Just kind of look at him like, is that fucking it? Just kind of lower your face jewelry and give him maybe to Joe Pesci. What am I, funny? And they'll load you up with another half scoop. Just give them a side eye emoji IRL. If you want more food. Man, I love getting gaslit by delusional CEOs. One of my favorite pastimes. Over fun, stock, corporate music. Also, why is the teleprompter so high? He's like looking up. He's like, I mean, these are big burritos. This is big. Hey, we're talking big burritos, big portion sizes. We want to give people big experiences here at Chipotle. Where are you looking, dude? It's like a Stevie Wonder interview. Sorry, I love you, Stevie. Yeah, but just completely capping. I mean, when's the last time you were at Chipotle? It's horrible now, dude. They used to fucking lean into those scoops, man. They used to get their fucking elbow in there. Now it's like 3 chicken cubes. Can I have a 4th chicken cube? Sure, that's going to be double, though. I mean, he definitely set up his fucking employees. Like, this video is going to be played in every Chipotle across the country. I found this. Look at this video. This is a thing that's starting to happen now. People are just going to Chipotle. Just watch the video. Just a full camera crew. This poor guy, dude. It's just like TMZ's in that bitch. You know what I mean? Guy's got like a boom mic leaning over the glass. Where's the drone footage? I'm surprised there's not a drone flying over the fucking. This may actually all be a psyop to get everyone to go to Chipotle. Now that I think about it, accidentally, ironically, low key genius. Because now everybody's gonna go in there like trying to like, oh, see, like I refuse to give him credit. There's no way that anybody thought this through. It's just going to be a matter of happenstance, and it'll work out well. Okay, one more hilarious story before we get into our main story. Let me have a sip of some unbranded water before I get into this one. It's unbranded. Okay, so a white Montreal-based journalist named Sam Forster released his book, Seven Shoulders, this past week, in which he disguised himself as a black man and traveled across America to document racism. How did Sam Forster disguise himself as a black man? You guessed it. He wore blackface. And, hey, guys, that's not a good idea. Hey, white people. Not sure if you've been on the internet for more than 6 minutes. Maybe don't put on blackface. So he drops this book, and I mean, what in the Tropic Thunder was this guy thinking, dude? Bro thinks he's Justin Trudeau. What's up with Canadians and blackface, huh? The Amazon description says, the Amazon description says, Seven Shoulders is the most important book on American race relations that has ever been written. Yeah, okay. So this guy put on blackface, didn't want to shave his head, so he got an afro wig and pretends to be a black guy to write a book, to then profit off the book. And then in the description, which is self-written, by the way, says it's the most important book on American race relations that has ever been written. Oh, God. The caucasity. Which is a funny, like, he did blackface because he doesn't trust the word of black people. He's like, I don't know, I've been hearing a lot of stuff about how tough it is to be black. Let's see. Let's see if all the fuss is for real. I want to tell the story of the black man in America, and I, a white male from Canada, am clearly best suited. And this is the most important book ever written on the topic. Oppression? Yeah, I don't buy it. I think I'll see for myself. Chapter 7. Gee, this is difficult. I mean, dude. And what did he do? Like walk into restaurants and see how long it took him to get seated? Like, I drove over the speed limit to get pulled over to see how I was treated by a license and registration, please. This is a white man. Yes, officer. I am a white man, but I'm writing a book. I mean, and the funniest thing is everyone's just like, post the pic. Let's see what you looked like. He won't post the pic of him in the disguise. Post the pic, Sam. Post it. Go ahead, Sam. Sam, it's the most important book in the history of race relations in the United States. We got to see what you look like. Go ahead. Post the pic, Sam. Did you say the word, Sam? Did you? You said the word, didn't you, Sam? You walked around. in blackface with a black wig on, an afro, and you were rapping the words along with the songs, weren't you, Sam? Then, as he's being just dragged across the internet, deservedly, he like gets into it with the NAACP on Twitter. I tried to pull up the tweets, but he deleted them. Wonder why. Basically, the NAACP like quote tweeted him and was like, "Hey, maybe next time ask a black person what they think, like for their perspective before you post this book." And he said, "Oh, I guess NAACP president, Derek Johnson isn't black enough." And he posts an email of him asking to reach out. Is it Derek Johnson? Yeah, it's Derek Johnson. I've met him a couple times. Very nice guy, by the way. But yeah, he like emailed the NAACP to comment on his book or something. And of course, they fucking ignored him. Obviously. Why would a black thought leader want to involve himself in your cosplay routine? So then he claps back at him on Twitter. Yeah, dude. Derek Johnson quote tweets and is like, says something to the effect of like, again, like, you can't just decide to put on black and like, and be black. Like, you can't quantify the experience like that, And then he like retweets that and he's like, "Oh, well, I guess you're not black enough then, since I emailed you and posted." Like, what are you doing? Yeah, dude, get in an argument with the president of the NAACP about your Blackface book. Probably not the best decision here. Probably not the best counter, huh? Bro's trying to dig himself out of a hole by digging deeper into the hole. All right, maybe if I get a little deeper, I can get myself out of here. I guess bro did ironically prove that the existence of racism still exists, didn't he? It's like the movie Soul Man all over again. A lot of people don't even know this movie exists. Let me pull up the trailer. This is just so funny. There was a movie called Soul Man in the 80s with C. Thomas Howell. Let me pull this up, dude.
You really hate the Beach Boys now?
Soul Man. Here we go. Let's watch the trailer.
Harvard Law School.
Yeah!
Yeah! Tuition and fees. $10,493.
Harvard Law School. This is a big day for all of us. That's why I've decided to let you pay your own way.
Estimated annual living expenses.
You ever applied for a loan before?
$7,500.
Mr. Watson, you don't pay your bills. Get out.
Total for 3 years of law school.
Wait a second, look at this. Full tuition for the most qualified applicant.
Most qualified black applicant. $53,979. Don't you think you're overreacting? No.
Congratulations, Mr. Watson.
Thank you, sir. I'll do my best.
Some people will do anything to get into Harvard.
It's gonna be great! These are the 80s, man! It's the Cosby decade!
For Mark Watson, all it took was a little soul.
I'd like you to meet my good friend, Kareem Abdul-Ali.
We got Washington here on the coin toss, so he'll take Leon.
That's Watson.
Right. Sorry, Marcus.
Yeah, there may be a problem here. Your roommate was a,
What?
a black Negro.
A black Negro?
There's something really strange about you, and I don't know what it is.
Oh, God, is she beautiful? You gotta believe me.
He must have learned a great deal more than you bargained for.
Tell her I'm white. Don't tell her you're white!
What's going on?
Can we blame him for the color of his skin?
Mom, Dad, I'm black.
What? No, you're crazy.
Mark Watson.
Come on now!
From the producer of Risky Business, Soul Man. He didn't give up. He got down.
Not on. You really hate the Beach Boys now?
He didn't give up. He got down. Yeah, that's a movie about a kid that got into Harvard and found out there was a full ride scholarship for black students, so he pretended to be black. He even fell in love with a black girl. And he even said, This is the Cosby decade. Americans love black people. That aged about as well as the movie did. Yeah, C. Thomas Howell. You know? Dude, how do you take that role? C. Thomas Howell was the kid from Outsiders. The movie The Outsiders. Have you seen it? You remember that famous line. Stay black, pony boy. James Earl Jones was in this movie, dude. James Earl Simba, you deliberately disobeyed me. The most absurd part of this movie is that 3 years at Harvard cost $54,000. Anyway, that's basically what this fucking guy Sam Forster did. So, yeah, post the pic, Sam. Let's see it. Huh? Okay, moving on. Let's get to our main story. This week's main story is brought to us by Daniel Ek, our dear friend over at Spotify. I was just at Spotify, as many of you may have seen. We had a very productive meeting. Did meet with Daniel Ek. I would have probably been escorted out in handcuffs. But, yeah, after all the crazy shit that Spotify's done to completely fuck over artists, Daniel Ek got on Twitter and said this. Daniel Ek tweeted, "Today, with the cost of creating content being close to zero, people can share an incredible amount of content. This has sparked my curiosity about the concept of long shelf life versus short shelf life. Of course, the guy profiting hundreds of millions of dollars quarterly off the backs of the artists who built his platform by devaluing art has no fucking idea how expensive it is to make. Today, the cost of creating content being close to zero, content being music and content, absolute delusion. A cartoonishly evil supervillain. Daniel Ek, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? This statement implies that the cost of creating music is completely negligible, overlooking the substantial investment in time that it takes to make music, the talent, which takes time, resources, all the things required for music production and promotion, close to zero. This is the perspective from the guy that controls how music is consumed. And he completely undervalues artists' work and investment and sets a precedent with this dumb fucking statement that music isn't worth paying for because it costs close to zero. Let's run through creating a song. Let's do a little exercise, yeah? I think a lot of people don't know how much this costs. So let's assume you're renting a studio to record in, okay? Renting the studio itself will go anywhere from $500 to $1,000 roughly, okay? Then you got to pay the engineer. That's going to be $300 to $500. Then you got to get the beat, right? Unless you're a producer. You got to get the beat from someone, and if you release the song, well, that's going to run you anywhere from $500 to $5,000, even much more if it's a huge producer, right? Mixing engineer, after the song is recorded, $500 to $5,000, depending on who you get. Mastering, $500 to $2,500, maybe a little bit more, depending on who you get. That's just the creation of the song. Let's say you do DIY. Yeah, I got to set up at my crib. Okay, cool. Even if it's a cheap setup, microphone's going to cost you anywhere from $500 to $3,000. Laptop's going to run you anywhere from $1,800 to $4,000. Interface, anywhere from $300 to $2,000. Fucking all the cables, the DAW. You got to pay for Pro Tools or Logic or Fruity Loops, or whatever the fuck you use. Reason. Ableton. You got to buy all the plugins. You think those are cheap? No. Those are going to run you thousands of dollars. And then you got to still buy the track. Cool, now you got a song. Well, good thing content is close to zero to put out too, right? Yeah, good thing you don't have to pay for marketing or PR costs. You don't have to pay for music videos. You don't have to pay for photo shoots. And, oh yeah, not to mention time. Is your time valuable? No, it's close to zero, I'd say. You add all that up, and what do you get? Close to zero. Good math, Daniel Ek. You see, music doesn't cost $0 to create. Content doesn't cost $0 to create. It just costs Spotify $0 for you to create it. It costs them $0 to create all the AI music that they create and put on playlists and push through their algorithm that you don't know is AI. All the lo-fi and jazz and all this stuff that, who is this artist? They don't even exist. That's another story. They make 100% of the profits of those songs, which dilute the royalty pool even more. You see, Daniel Ek wants you to believe that music costs close to zero to create, so he can justify devaluing music to be worth close to zero, as he profits hundreds of millions of dollars every quarter off of it. Music is only valuable when he can profit off of it, not when you create it. Not for you. It's not valuable when you consume it. It's only valuable when it comes to the shareholders, to those who own catalog, but not to create it. So our main story this week is about devaluing music. These are things that I've touched on, but I want to really dedicate a segment to it, on how Spotify and DSPs have completely devalued music. Spotify's pricing model has set standards that affect how all music is valued monetarily, honestly, obviously. You pay, $13 a month to have all the music you could ever want in the world at your disposal. You have access to everything, okay? So let's look at how that affects artists and songwriters. To put it in perspective, songwriters went from roughly 9 cents per song sale to 0.003 cents, which means, yes, we make 3% what we used to make. 3%. Put that in fucking perspective. Then you look at artists and labels. The shift to streaming has forced record labels and artists to adapt to Daniel Ek's way of thinking, which is that prioritizing quantity over quality and investing in music that can generate quick streaming numbers rather than long-term value is the play. We're going to create music that costs close to nothing to create, or sounds like it. Because that's what, you know what I mean? And when it comes to consumers, like, I think psychologically, the big thing that's happened, the big shift that's happened is that we've shifted from ownership to access. You don't own the music anymore. You have access to the music now. And they've made you think that that's the way you should price it. But that says a lot about society today. We don't really own things anymore. We lease them. We have access to them. We subscribe to them. And that it could be argued, what came first? The fucking chicken or what came first? The subscription model or the subscribers? I guess the answer is the subscription model, probably. But consumers have access to vast libraries of music at a low subscription cost. Same thing with film and TV, with streaming services. And this can lead to the perception that individual tracks or albums are of low value. Think of it as like an all-you-can-eat buffet, right? Like, how's the quality of food the last time you had an all-you-can-eat buffet? Think of the last time you had all-you-can-eat. How's the quality? How do you perceive the quality of food when you go to an all-you-can-eat buffet? Spotify's like a cruise ship buffet. Yeah, so, I just think it's like when you look at even his point, like about long shelf life versus short shelf life. You know, let me read his fucking tweet again. This has sparked my curiosity about the concept of long shelf life versus short shelf life. Yeah, like, let's look at that. Of course, these things have short shelf life because you've created an ecosystem that panders to that way of consumption and that way of creation inherently. You want more songs with long shelf life, Daniel? Then it's time to make music valuable again. Because nobody's paying Michelin star prices for a fucking Carnival Cruise all-you-can-eat buffet. We need to reprice music. Now, I don't know what the solution is. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I do. I do know that certain solutions that I've been pretty adamant about, like on-chain music, digital collectibles, and ways to support artists, can be a way to put more money in artists' pocket, activate superfans, create cool new ways to roll out music. But I mean, it's going to be tough to put the genie back in the bottle here. It's going to be tough to convince a sea of consumers who are getting smoked financially to go ahead and spend more money on music. Hey, remember that thing you've been getting for $13 a month for everything? How about spending $20 for an album? It's going to have to be a new way to approach it. So, fucking, it's just so fucked, isn't it? This shit's depressing, dude. I don't even like talking about it. Let's get into everyone's favorite segment. Let's get into the FOH HOF. The Fuck Outta Here Hall of Fame. And the first video is music, isn't it? And, you know, I don't like to do videos like dunking on upcoming artists or independent artists because I feel like I'm punching down, but god damn it, the jokes are just too funny on this one. So here we go.
Hate that dumb unspoken rule that every girl dates on a dose, cause I know if I had to choose, I like guys when they're younger. That's how I'll go this summer. No, I thought that they're better. Yeah, that's just my type. Isn't age just a number? They're so hot, can't recover. I come over, they're under. Yeah, it just feels right. I like guys when they're younger. Just my type.
I think I just wrote the statutory rape song of the summer? What is this, dude? Fucking Pedo Pop? I like guys when they're younger. Oh, maybe not the best time to drop this song, huh? Dude.
Hate that dumb unspoken rule that every girl dates on a dose, cause I know if I had to choose, I like guys when they're younger.
Oh man, high school teachers that sleep with their students are going to be slapping this one in the parking lot, huh? Fuck yeah, dude. I like guys when they're younger. Oh, no, no. Sorry, Kendrick. This is the new pedophile anthem. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Funner, not a word. Isn't age just a number? Oh, Jesus Christ. Trying to strike a chord and it's probably D minor. Cause dick. You get it? I come over there under? Under what? The age of consent? Who wrote this song? Did she write this song? I hope. Isn't age just a number? Wasn't that a famous R. Kelly line? Yeah. This the remix to molesting, hopping straight out the kitchen. Oh, rolling that. This shit, dude. Oh my God. This shit is catchy as fuck, boy. God damn it, it's a great hook melody, isn't it? This is like if Not Like Us was written by Ryan Tedder. She used the Max Martin formula on this one. God damn it, it's so good, so catchy. I've been just listening to it unironically as I was plotting how to make fun of this, you know? Isn't age just a number? Not my fault that they're funner. Funner, dude, you know? Ugh. Is this millennial core? Is this from boomer to groomer? On a serious note, I saw this video and then I like went to this girl's page and like listened to some of her other stuff. She's got potential. So here's my advice if you end up on this YouTube, darling. If someone sends this to you, they will, for sure. Fire your management ASAP. Nobody should have let you put this out right now, especially. I know you probably don't mean literally children. You probably are like in your late 20s and you're talking about somebody like in their younger 20s. But man, we got to go ahead and fire the team on this one, yeah? Send them packing. There's no way the number one song in the club is certified lover boy, certified pedophile, bow, 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 bow. And you were like, hey, let's go ahead and drop that song next, yeah? Anyway. Let's move on. Okay. The next inductee into the FOH HOF is the standing president of the HOF, or the FOH HOF. It's Luke Belmar. And, you know, I don't want to have Luke Belmar on the show as often as I do, but just about every other day I get sent a new clip that I haven't seen of him just spewing the most absurd shit I've ever heard. So here we go.
So I'm walking and a cobweb hits me. Then I start looking up and I see this massive cobweb. And on the side of the cobweb in the corner, there's a spider waiting. I'm looking at it and I'm like, the spider just built an entire ecosystem, understanding the principle that if it positions everything in place, that eventually the food will come. People are out here chasing the meal. So I looked at the spider and I'm like, oh, that's very clever. Let me do the same thing. Y, Z, A, B, connect them all together. And then once your work is done, you sit and you wait.
Bro thinks he's Spider-Man. Luke Belmar was actually bit by a radioactive Tristan Tate and turned into Yapperman. Yapperman, yaps however a yapper can. There's a lot to unpack here. So let's just start. First of all, he doesn't know what a cobweb is. Clearly. A cobweb is a vacant spiderweb after the spider leaves. Like a vacant building, right? So you're dumb. And then he was flabbergasted that a spider was in a spider web, you know?
Then I start looking up and I see this massive cobweb. And on the side of the cobweb in the corner, there's a spider waiting.
There's a spider waiting in the spider web. Huh.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, the spider just built an entire ecosystem.
The spider did not build an entire ecosystem. A spider web is not an ecosystem. Do you know what an ecosystem is? It's a trap. A spider web is a trap. Ironically, every Luke Belmar podcast interview is a trap too. A trap for him to yap. A yap trap. Yapaholics mixtapes. Real yap shit. So in business terms, let's just get this. I just want to let's finish the clip so I can gain some understanding on what he's talking about.
Understanding the principle that if it positions everything in place, that eventually the food will come. People are out here chasing the meal. So I looked at the spider, I'm like, oh, that's very clever. Let me do the same thing. Y, Z, A, B, connect them all together. And then once your work is done, you sit and you wait.
Nice. So in business terms, buy all the gear, build a network, connect the dots, and then just sit around and wait. Fuck marketing or SEO. Forget sales. Just wait. And then Y, Z, A, B, connect them all together, you know? Just grabbing letters in the alphabet out of his mind palace. Just Y, A, P, P, E, R. Put them all together. This guy's such a... Lucas Tice... Oh, sorry. Luke Belmar here. Ironically is a spider. He spun up a fake life with a fake backstory and a fake business, and unsuspecting dumbass NPC insects fly right into the link in his bio and give him money. Oh, you haven't heard? Luke Belmar got exposed about a month ago. His real name is Lucas Tice, and changed his name, made up his fucking backstory, just got completely exposed in this like crazy expose. You can find it online. I don't give a fuck. I mean, people send me DMs all the time about like exposing these guys that I make fun of, like, oh, Andy Elliott's is a rat, and this guy did this, and Chris Crone did, like, I don't give a I mean, obviously, I'm just here to make fun of them. I'm not like gonna do a whole fucking expose. I don't care about that. I'll talk about it because it's funny, but I'm just here to make fun of these guys. Because again, these fucking grifters are just sucking up money from people who really don't know any better. And someone's got to make fun of them. It's going to be me, the super bully, the bully's bully. That's why I'm here. Okay, last video. Let me take a fucking sip of water here before we get into it. Okay. Let's find it. Here we go. This week on Teaching Elementary School Science to Full-Grown Adults.
Y'all know space is not real.
What do you mean by that?
Space isn't real. It's only the sun and the moon.
Facts.
It's only the sun and the moon.
I knew that.
Yeah.
For real?
Space is not real.
I did not know that.
And the earth is flat.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Why do you think
I don't agree with.
No, I'm gonna tell you. Why do you think scientists, it's proven, you can search this up after the podcast or whenever, now it's up to you. Scientists went down in the earth, right? They tried to go to the earth's crust. They found water. I thought it was hot. What happened?
I thought it was too.
Exactly. It's water, fam. And in the Bible, it said he divided the waters in the midst, meaning in the middle, right? He divided the waters from the top and the bottom. Basically, it's waters below us and waters above us. That's why the sky is blue. It's not because of a reflection. They lied. The sky is just blue because it's water above us. Why do you think God flooded the earth so easily with Noah? He literally opened the firmament, the heavens. I'm finna show you something. You know satellites? Satellites, there's no real picture of a satellite. Space is not real, bro. Look.
I didn't know that.
Ain't no real picture of no satellite. It ain't real. It's not real.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Every photo is edited. I might be speaking too much. They gonna come get me.
I don't think anybody's gonna come get you. Graduated from Terrence Howard University over here. Oh yeah, I went to Howard. Terrence Howard Tech. This guy doing the podcast, this guy interviewing this genius woman here, is the most gullible man on earth. You know, space isn't real. For real? Yeah, it's water. For real? Then the guy in the background, facts. Anybody got this guy's contact? I have some snake oil I want to sell him. This has got to be she's dumb, but this guy's got to be even dumber. His shirt says, it's only me versus me. And he's right about that. It is only me versus me for this guy, and he's losing. Even worse, it's a tie. This guy in the fucking background. Facts.
Y'all know space is not real.
What do you mean by that?
Space isn't real.
What do you mean by that?
It's only the sun and the moon.
Facts. Bro is absolutely trying to clap cheeks. 100%. Facts. Damn, you're smart. Facts. What? Like this room, cumulative IQ of this room's like 83 for all three of them. Nightmare blunt rotation. Can you imagine? There's no space, only the sun and the moon. Yeah? Which exists where exactly? Oh, there's no space, just the sun and the moon. Where is the sun and the moon then? Like 1,000 feet above us in the sky? In the atmosphere? The sun is 10,000 degrees hot. If it wasn't in space, you'd be a pool of flesh juice instead of a pool of vapid thought. She's right. Space doesn't exist in her head. There's just space in her head. There's no brain. I mean, there's so much to unpack here. She's just wrong about literally everything. You know, scientists dug down and they found water. I thought it was hot. You're thinking of the core. The Earth's core is hot, not the crust. Crust, by the way, is the word you're thinking of, not crest. Okay? And then she says, the sky is blue because it's water above us. Water isn't blue. Water isn't blue. Water is blue in bodies of water because the sky is blue. And it's reflecting. You dumb fuck. And then she goes, satellites are not real. Hold on, let me go on the internet on my cellular device and prove it to you. Hold on, let me just go on the internet and use my data or Wi-Fi. 1 second. Let me just prove that satellites don't exist. We need to open school on Sundays. There's not any real photos. There are real photos of satellites. They exist. It's not real. The only thing not real is bro's gold chain or the diamond chain around your neck. This is really like the Shop GLD target audience. The sky is blue and your neck is green because your gold is fake. Oh my God. This shit is like, it's just so exhausting, dude. I mean, I don't want to have to get on the internet and argue with people about basic science and mathematics, but here I am, once again.
Space is not real, bro.
I didn't know that.
Ain't no real picture of no satellite. It ain't real. It's not real.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Every photo is edited. I might be speaking too much. They gonna come get me.
Yeah, hopefully somebody comes to get those podcast mics away from you. God. Okay. That's going to conclude our show for this week. I was going to do Just Ask Gino this week, but we're going to do that we're going to start that segment next week. So again, I'm going to do a new segment called Just Ask Gino, where you can submit questions about anything you have, be it songs, like music or entertainment or content, or relationships, life, whatever, and I'm going to pick the best questions and I'll answer them anonymously on the podcast at the end of the show. I want to thank you for listening. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I'm going to need you to like, subscribe, download it to your device, and send it to a loved one or a hated one. If you're watching on YouTube, and you should be watching on YouTube, make sure you delicately massage that like button. hit the subscribe button with a little bit of rigor. Just kind of, you know what I mean? And go ahead and grease up that algorithm because, well, you're an oil man. And most importantly, make sure you check out the new merchandise on GinoTheGhost.com. Grab you some good luck merch because it helps me buy more face jewelry. And let's be honest, that is the most important thing, how good I look. And yeah, you know, we'll also use it to help make the show bigger, yada, yada, yada. Thank you guys. I want to appreciate you for tuning in this week. We're going to sign off with everyone's favorite song, the AI Good Luck theme song. And until next week, as the world continues to crumble into water because, you know, space isn't real, so the water's going to fall from the sky and we'll probably all drown. Good night and good luck.
Everybody listen close. There's a brand new show that you gotta know. It's called Good Luck with Gino.
That's me.
It's gonna get you moving, get you in the zone. Good luck, good vibes, good times with Gino by your side.
Woo!
You'll be feeling fine.
Come on.
Every week he's gonna bring the hype. Woo! So come on, let's go tune in online. Good luck, good vibes, good times with Gino. It's gonna be a real delight. So get ready to learn and grow. Good luck, let's go.
Bitch.